Hey, I'm Greg. I'm a software developer at a software as a service company, and I give Google Forms a 4 out of 5. So prior to switching to Google Forms, our group used SurveyMonkey for some things that Google Forms then took over, and then for more serious projects, we tended to use Qualtrics. But for our needs, Google Forms really met both of those. They were so easy to set up that was why we switched. So we switched to Google Forms for a variety of reasons. The first was that it was just free and easy to use. The setup is quick. It doesn't really take much time. We were already G Suite customers, so it was sort of built into our environment. And then also it really integrated well with a lot of other services, either through Google Forms itself, like it connects to Google Sheets very well. But if you wanted to have it extend to other things, you could use Zapier, and that was something we were already using in our environment. So super easy to set up and kind of worked with everything else we had. It was an easy choice. So Google Forms was relatively easy to integrate into our business, primarily because it was a function of like really quick prototyping, right? So it was something that we were using and creating to use like immediately. And then, if we needed another iteration on what we had made, we would have just made another Google form. So for that reason, it was something that was easy to create and edit and change, but not necessarily something that we would have used in a production environment, 6 months down the road. So it was sort of our way of testing things out, and it helped us do that. So if you're considering Google Forms, I'd encourage you to just mess around with it. It's a free tool, so I really don't I don't think there's much downside to using it. If you want a more like long-term solution, because Google Forms, if you use them, you know that you're using Google Forms. They have a very clear branding, and it's sort of hard to customize the look and feel. So for our longer-term needs, when Google Forms didn't really match our branding or styling, we ended up using what was it called, Typeform, and that was an alternative that I didn't always love using. I think it's a little bit harder, but it does have some extra features like logic jumps that Google Forms does have, but Typeform makes it easier. So I would consider just trying Google Forms out first, and then if it doesn't meet your needs, maybe look elsewhere.